Já pensou em um cruzamento entre Homeland e The Americans? Não é exatamente isso que acontece no novo thriller da Netflix, mas quase. O Monstro em Mim chega ao catálogo da plataforma em 13 de novembro e é uma minissérie de 8 episódios estrelada pela Claire Danes e pelo Matthew Rhys, que comandaram 2 dos dramas televisivos mais prestigiosos da década passada. Dessa vez, a Danes interpreta uma escritora em luto que é surpreendida quando um ricaço misterioso se muda para casa ao lado. Logo logo, os dois entram numa estranha dinâmica de amor e ódio que promete revelar segredos de ambos. E, para descobrir mais sobre essa trama eletrizante, eu falei com os 2 atores principais. Confira.
Claire, in the first episode, your character mentions the friendship between Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Antonin Scalia as a form of foreshadowing for what's going to happen with her and Matthew's character.
Very
How
good.
was it for you both to craft this love-hate dynamic that they have?
Well, like Scalia, I just watched a lot of opera. We went to the opera like Ruth and Scalia did, didn't they?
No, we did not.
No.
He's
Yes.
he's kidding. No, look, I mean, was the most exciting thing about this project was this relationship. I'd never really seen any like it before. And you know, it's just one sparring match after another. And you know, I think that like there's this funny gravitational force between them, but they're also kind of, you know, they're irritated by each other and even like repulsed by each other in some ways. But there is a funny soul connection that that thrills both of them. So I don't know. It was just a great time, and I couldn't have been more fortunate to, you know, have this guy to bat those words around with. Yeah.
Yeah, and beyond it being just a common narrative structure, it is the idea of a mystery is very prescient right now, because everyone is a bit of a citizen detective, and true crime is so big right now. What's your relation to the genre as viewers yourselves?
Well, I don't know. It felt almost like nostalgic in a way. It felt very kind of. Even reading the pilot, it had a Hitchcockian quality, which appealed to me. You know, in this really, you know, domestic environment, we're exploring. You know, we're discovering the grotesque. Reminded me a little bit of that story Bluebeard, Grimm's fairy tale, which I was like my favorite as a little girl.
Was it?
But yeah, I think there's part of us that's always curious about the, you know, the macabre and you know, and I think the darkest part of herself, this unprocessed grief which is just kind of calcified into rage, even without her fully knowing it, like takes human form in this character Niall, who like an asteroid just like hurls himself into her reality. And you know, I there was something just really kind of fun and kind of Freudian and psychological about that. And yeah, and you know, she has to face herself in ways that she's not quite ready to or not expecting, and it's very uncomfortable, to put it mildly, at times, but it makes for good television.
And you both starred in hit TV shows that ran for multiple seasons at a very pivotal time for television and streaming, a transition, really. So what's it like to star in a show now as opposed to like 10 years back with Homeland and The Americans?
I could remember my lines much easier 10 years ago.
So could I.
Yes. Fight scenes were easier, night shoots were easier.
I didn't wear contacts.
Oh, all those things were much easier. I think the real estate of a long running show is a great luxury in order to explore many things, and not least to develop a character, especially if it, I think, evolves as the way we were both fortunate to do so. So sometimes a limited series kind of scares me because it's like a movie. It's like, you got to get it right first time.
Yeah,
And you're like,
limited series they're wonderful to watch. They're really hard to make. It's kind of the worst of film and television.
Yeah.
Because it's like a very, very long movie.
Yeah, you got one shot at.
Yeah, and by the end of it, you think, "Oh right, I figured it out." And,
I can't wait till season 2.
Yeah,
All right.
right. So yeah, I mean, there is something really wonderful about like you earn some ease in a long running series that you're never quite afforded on a limited. But they're fun because to absorb as a viewer, as I said, because you can inhale them basically in a weekend. Yeah.
And for one last question, these are very intense characters, and you've played intense characters before. I wonder personally, is it somewhat relaxing to portray these aggressive, damaged features of the characters, or is it draining? What's your relationship to the material?
I think it's a little of both. There are certain days when you go, my God, this is a lot more than I thought it was going to be than, just the kind of generic villain I was hoping for. I really had to go to some dark places. But, it's tends to be day dependent. I find that you what takes it out of you sometimes sometimes trips you up and you're not quite expecting. And the other times, obviously, you know the kind of scene and what it requires. And then, what I loved about this was it was incredibly the stuff between Aggie and Niall were incredibly playful.
Yes.
And
there was a lot of fun to be had.
Yes.
True, genuine pleasure and fun.
Yes.
Even though, they're suffering, but they're relieving each other's suffering, They're finding respite in each other. And so, yeah, I mean, they really are charmed by each other. So that, it was far from, even when they're torturing each other, they're kind of, there's still a lot of play involved with that. And it's funny. Like, that when he's just taking her into the woods and she knows something terrible is about to happen, there are comedic elements to it. So, yeah.
Always fun to play.
Yes.
Esse foi o Tela Plana e até semana que vem com mais entrevistas e dicas do que assistir na TV e no streaming.